All right, here we are in a beautiful Santa Barbara, California day. Late afternoon, looking at a neat little driver, 1933 Ford 4-door sedan. Belongs to a gentleman here who's lived pretty much his whole life in Southern California here, and a lot of years here in Santa Barbara. We're pretty close to the coast, which is cool. He was referred by a client that I had sold a 32 sedan for, and his daughter gave me a call. The only reason this car's for sale is due to the some health issues of the gentleman that owns it and some memory issues. But pretty much we're going to go around, and we were able to talk to the owner a little bit. I spent some time with him talking about the car and some of his older cars. He had a little 32 two-door sedan. Anyway, neat little story. He took this car around the local shows and stuff, has owned it about 10 years, but when he purchased it more than 10 years ago, we're right around there, he wanted the color of the 32 I mentioned, so he had it painted it's called Omaha Orange. So he painted this car the color he wanted to match the 32 two-door that he had several years ago. So he just did it was already a running driving street rod when he bought it. So he finished the interior, or redid the interior and redid the exterior to his own taste. Now the paint was done here locally. I don't know where it was done, but it's a nice paint job, but it's more of along the lines of a driver, so it's not 100% perfect. You're going to find flaws in it. You're going to find a nick from use because he drove it. The odometer on the car says 35,000 miles. At the time he did the refreshing of the cosmetics on the car, it was already a driver. And so the roof he redid. It's got a new soft canvas roof in it. It's not been filled. It's not been chopped. Still retains its door handles. Has a white Naugahyde interior with orange piping, Omaha orange piping. It has two-tone door panels. We'll come around to both sides of the car and kind of share with you, but it's all Henry steel. Four-doors are gaining in popularity because there isn't a lot of these cars left that are all Henry. Appears to be sitting on a Henry steel chassis. It's been boxed in areas. It has kind of a combination, I think, of a Fat Man crossmember and Mustang 2 components or Pinto components in the front. So it has rack and pinion steering. Coilovers in the front. It's kind of neat. It has a 302 Ford V8 underneath the hood and an automatic transmission and a Ford 8-inch rear differential. And nice little grille and bright work. But again, the body's pretty nice. The paint's been on it several years. But again, you can find flaws and imperfections in the paint and in the quality of the paint. A little bit of orange peely, that kind of stuff. And wiped down over the years. Used and taken it to car shows. So, but the body is very straight. You'll see a little mark here on the door. I mean, I could go on forever about that, but you get the idea. It's an excellent little driver car. What makes it cool, it's a 33 Ford, and it's affordable. And it's Henry steel. So with all that said, you get the idea. All Henry steel. It looks like Henry style bumpers, factory style bumpers, dueling horns, the headlights here. 2 lamp headlamps. We'll adjust this headlamp a little bit. Needs to be straightened. Just sitting in the garage. We pulled it out of the garage. It started right up. I'm going to take you for a little drive around the block in it. I've taken it for a drive around the block. It's got power disc brakes, so it stops on a dime. The car really stops. Brakes are actually touchy when you first pull out of the driveway until you get used to them. Hood sides all shut pretty easy. We videoed the under the hood here for you and kind of give you an idea. So the car wasn't totally stripped off the body to paint or anything like that. It was a different color. I don't know what color it was. Looks like the windshield still cranks out. We're going to open up the doors here and let you take a look inside. Some of the upholstery could use a little bit of a detail. Senior gentleman. Took it to shows, loved it, and put a lot of miles on it. When he bought it, it had the gauges there, and when we get around the other side, we'll talk a little bit more. It has a faux finish on the dash and on the door trim here. Little gauge and gold face gauges. Factory style seating, so really pretty much the headliner was done the same way. It's done with Naugahyde white, orange visors, orange piping. Just a good solid little car. I felt the bottom of the doors. Solid. You want a 4-door that's a cute little driver that's affordable price, and this car is your good entry into a hot rod. But if also you're looking for a 4-door to take to the next level, this would be an excellent candidate, I would tell you that, because the body is so nice. I mean, it's all there. It's all Henry steel. You see the rear window cranks are still there in the back. Even the little ashtray still here in the back, the factory ashtray. So really what it is an update on a factory chassis. Doors shut nice here. Has and I'm going to date the build, and I probably already said it, I'm going to date the build of this car probably about 30 years, or 25 to 30 years, because looking at the Eagle alloy wheels on it, the 15-inch tires, and some of the design of the components that were installed on it, that would be the reason for that. Sorry, I was trying to step up on a curb there, got a little shake. Has a third brake light in it, you see that. Has 1933 California license plates on it. I don't know any history other than what I've just told you on the car. We do have a little spec sheet from when he bought it. There are some things that were updated. I believe the transmission was updated. There's quite a bit of stuff. Brakes, the exhaust looks new. We'll fire it up here for you, show it to you. We'll take you on the undercarriage like we always do. We get over here to the passenger side, the driver's side back seat area, show you. It's got like a brown carpet in it, or a mocha carpet. Like I said, the interior could use a little bit of a detail. We took a towel off the seat so you could see all the upholstery on the front seat. And I didn't find anything underneath that other than this thing would be brightened up real good with some detail. Seat belts are maroon in color. It does have suicide latches on it. You can see the hole drilled in the door right there. But again, he drove this. He put a lot of miles on this car. It has a tilt steering column in it with an AOD style indicator. We're going to call the car just a 3-speed, and it says metric on the transpan. So I'm going to bet it's an AOD, but we're not taking it out on the highway and testing it, so it's 3-speed. Factory style dash, faux finish work. The odometer on the car is 35,329, so it's 35,329 miles on it. We believe that to be actual to the build because the spec sheet he gave us was from the gentleman he had bought it from, listing out the equipment that was supposedly in it, and it listed those gauges. So these gauges have been in here since this car was built as a street rod. There's a suicide latch over there. Underneath the dash, he's got a little fire extinguisher. It's not a high-end restoration by any means, but you couldn't find a whole body like this for, this car's going to be a good buy for somebody that likes the car and wants to tinker a little bit. And it looks good just the way it is. You won't be embarrassed to take it anywhere. Somebody's trying to come up behind me here, so. Anyway, we're thinking you get the idea. Oh, I'm going to fire it up. I'll tell you how to start it. Somebody just pulled up behind me here. There's a toggle switch right here. Starts right up. Tell you the oil pressure is good. I forgot to go over the gauges with you. Oil pressure is good. 30 again, the miles. Tachometer works. Oil pressure is about 40. Gas is about a quarter. We've run it long enough to bring the temperature up about 110 or so. The voltmeter works. Checked it on the way over here. The turn indicator works. Left one, right one. We're not going to check all the lights. There you go. Let me get out, let you hear it run. Sounds good. Anyway, it's time we tell you to get in. Go to spudsgarage.com where we'll have nice details for you, more detailed photos. As promised, let's take a look underneath the hood here. I'll lift it up and let you have a better peek at it here. It's a late 70s 302 Ford V8. It has a lot of polished and chrome goodies on it. It was in the car when the gentleman bought it more than 10 years ago. I don't have any more info other than that, I believe it has been bored 30 over. It has a Performer Edelbrock Performer intake manifold polished, or Durashine, I believe. It has an Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor. Has a polished aluminum water pump on it. There's the mechanical fuel pump. And then down here has a remote oil filter, because when you put a Ford in these, the oil filter's up front and it gets in the way in the steering coupler. They put Mustang 2 front suspension in it, Mustang 2 Pinto front suspension. It has power brakes on it. This baby's got some brakes on it. It stops good. A polished recovery tank here. Been a long road trip for me. I might stumble from time to time. Electric cooling fan. I'm told it comes on automatically. It's an excellent little driver. Looks like it has electronic ignition. Has a Bitchin' Products firewall in it. That's very well done. VIN tag and body numbers there on the firewall. Has short tube headers. They appear to be ceramic coated. Has a high amp 1-wire alternator on it. Pretty much just a good old hot rod underneath the hood. Great little driver. The transmission is a Ford automatic transmission. Obviously, it's hooked to a Ford. It says metric on the bottom of the pan. It might be an overdrive trans. I'm not going to take it out on the highway to find out. But we'll just call it an automatic, 3-speed automatic. Has a Ford 8-inch rear differential in it. You probably already heard me say that. We try and cover as much as we can. It started right up, pulling it out of the gentleman's garage. Drove down here just fine. Wiring comes from the bulkhead over there. Anyway, we're thinking you get the idea. Go to spudsgarage.com where I have plenty more. Let's take a look at the undercarriage. This is very much a driver kind of car. It's not a show car. It's a nice car, but it's had logged its miles and done its time. And it's got a 15-gallon fuel tank in it. Got custom dual exhausts. Those look like Flowmaster mufflers. Ford 9-inch to differential. It's got gas shocks in the rear that look like they've been updated with newer ones. The chassis been modified to accept the Ford V8 probably several years ago, based on everything we've told you throughout the video here. Just an excellent driver, kind of car you can drive to show. This car's done a lot of shows local here. He's picked up a few little driver awards, that kind of thing. Exhaust system there. Maybe they're not Flowmasters, but they're a chambered muffler. Dual exhaust running all the way to the back. It's all steel, like I said. As far as we can get is here, and it appears to be very solid. Transmission in it, we talked about that underneath the hood. It says metric on the bottom of the pan. There's an overdrive shifter. Has coilover shocks in the front with Mustang 2 front suspension. The blue hoses you see there are the oil cooler that we talked about on the top. Coming up here to the front end, as she's sitting nice and low, she looks good. Coilover shocks, and those are original Mustang 2 or Pinto control arms. So this component or cross member was more than likely, the cross member was purchased, but the components that were added to it are from a car itself. But the rack could be a Fat Man style bolt-on. It's got rack and pinion in it, which is nice. It's just manual. Okay. This side over here, same thing. You see the rack, you see the Mustang 2 control arms. Go to spudsgarage.com. I definitely try and grab as much as I can. It's a cute little driver. It's not a perfect car. Give us a call. We're never any pressure. Eagle 1 wheels on it, which dates the build. There you go. We promised to take it for a short little drive here. Hey, this is a great little car you can drive. It starts right up. Like I told you, the brakes are touchy. Pull it off and drive. Like I said, the beach is right there. Access to the beach. It's not perfect, it's not brand new, but it's a lot of fun. This is the kind of car where I was photo shooting and people were coming up, oh, cute car, and it is a cute car. Anyway, not perfect and not new. Watch the end of the video. Go to spudsgarage.com. Have a great day.